Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather, bringing you the latest thinking on our severe weather threat for this afternoon. The time is about 6:23 a.m. Eastern Time, 5:23 a.m. Central Time, and we have a lot of rain on our hands right now. This will move out of the way, and we do stand the shot at some severe weather a little bit later on today, which we'll talk about what to expect here in just a second. Today's video update is sponsored by Metal Magic in Washington. You can give Chad a call at 698-8555 for all of your paintless tint repair needs. Remember, folks, they have that traveling hail team as well, and they are PDR Nation certified. So, folks, with the chance of severe weather again in the forecast, there is always the chance that you could have some small hail or even large hail, but even small hail can do damage to your vehicles. Make sure you pause the video and write their number down so that you can take your vehicle to them when the time comes. We all face that from time to time, so tell them Southern Indiana Weather sent you. All right. All right. This is the dreaded day that we have talked about for a while, and the big question on everybody's mind is, how bad is it going to be? All right, so let's talk about that. The good news is, I don't think it's going to be as bad for us as Arkansas saw last night down here in toward the Little Rock area. They saw a very long, tracked, and destructive tornado that literally leveled some communities, and the pictures and the fatalities being reported are just horrific coming out of that, and our thoughts and prayers are with all of those down in Arkansas. That said, I don't see that being, hopefully, at this point, our main concern today. I think damaging straight line winds would probably be more of our concern rather than long tracked tornadoes. Those can't be ruled out, but it does look like winds will be our big concern today. Maybe some small hail as well. All right. So we've right now, if we just put this the radar stopped, and you can see here early in the morning, we still have this big blob of rain that's going to move out. Let's go ahead and time this out on future radar. Take a look at our highest resolution one we have. This is the HER model. And you can see how this moves out here. Here we are where we're supposed to be around the 6 a.m. mark. This quickly moves out. In fact, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's thundering and lightning outside right now. So I don't know if you can hear that on the video or not. This will all move out of our way eventually. Here we are by 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and you notice the model has most of us in the area in the clear for that a little bit, and we get a little bit of a break. A little bit of light rain moves through. But then by the afternoon hours, by 2 o'clock, most of Indiana is completely clear. Now this is not good. This is not what we want to see. I personally, as much as we don't need the rain with what we've already had, I would rather see it rain all day, because then that would pretty much make our severe chances tonight be non-existent and make it be more of a flooding threat. And I'd rather have that than the chance of a severe weather any day. We don't need tornadoes. But if it does clear out like this, that's going to destabilize our atmosphere, and that's going to lead to a prime environment that severe storms can develop in. And as we continue on in the model, you can see that here by about 4 o'clock, here's 5 o'clock, you can see that's exactly what's happening. You start to see a bit of a line start to form, potentially some individual cells out to our west trying to form into a line, and there you go. As you move all the way through it, you can see some of these discrete cells, and by discrete cells, what I mean is ones that are out, sort of lone rangers out ahead of the line. Those are ones that we're going to have to watch. It's almost as if they're trying to form a line out to our west, and of course this is where the HER model ends. It's only a 15-hour model run. But it gives us the idea that if we get that break in action today, then we've got some real problems tonight that we can work out. And this ends, by the way, at about 7 p.m. So anywhere from 4 or 5 onward, according to the HER model, would be something that we'd have to watch. Now, the high-resolution NAM paints a different story. Let me show you what I mean by that. So there are still some questions about today. Here's that big blarb of rain moving through, and that gives us a little bit of a break in the action before it wants to develop another huge blarb of rain and just moves it over us. And so here we are by 2 in the afternoon, and we are rain covered here in the bottom half of the state. And if you compare that to the HER model, remember by that time in the afternoon, the prime heating of the day, we had really no rain around whatsoever. So a very different solution. This does eventually start to move out our way, but not until about 5 o'clock here, 6 o'clock at night. So we've got maybe just a little bit of hours of sunlight, but certainly not the prime heating of the day. And then it wants to bring some more rain out to our west, but it looks like it keeps the biggest of the squall lines and the most potent of the squall lines down here from the border of Kentucky on down into Mississippi. And then moving in, it would really confine the majority, the high-res NAM would confine the majority of the severe weather to them and make our threat be pretty much minimal if the high-res NAM can be believed. So which do you trust? Trust the high-res NAM, or do you trust the HER model with this? Okay, two very different solutions. As I said, if I go ahead and take you back into here, let me take off the radar and the watch and warning data. Let me throw the model data. I don't want the overlay. Let me get the model fill on here. Let me take you into the high resolution window model, the HRW model. I don't use this a whole lot, but just to give it a little bit of consensus, here's what you see right about now, and you can watch as this rain moves through today. And here we are, by the way, by the time we get to about 11, this is 17Z, so this will be 1 in the afternoon, and you notice we're precipitation free. All right, then here you go. Here's by 4, here's by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You're starting now to finally see those little small cells fire. 9 o'clock, here's 10 o'clock. You can really see the action kicking into gear with the HRW model. Here's by midnight tonight. Actually, here's 11 o'clock, and here's midnight tonight, starting to congeal into a solid line as it moves through. So you get the idea that HRW is giving us some good hours of daylight, but it doesn't kick in the severe weather probably until closer to the dark hours, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, right around in there. So again, the high-res NAM is the only one thinking that we could see that heavy precipitation swath today. Well, let's hope it's right, because that would certainly limit our severe weather, but it's not a guarantee. Two of our main models, two of our main future radars are saying no to that. One is saying yes to that. We'll see how it pans out. Stay tuned to Southern Indiana Weather on Facebook for updates throughout the day. Let's real quick take a look at our probabilities, and then we'll end this. I don't want to get too long for you here in the morning time. We are under a slight risk for severe weather this afternoon. All right, the moderate risk, which would be where the most concentrated severe weather and the most damaging severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center believes, does stay to the south of us. If we take a look at our tornado probabilities, though, take a look at this. 15% and a significant hatch down there for that moderate risk area. But the 5% tornado hatch goes basically up to the Ohio River, and we are in the 2% hatch, which is pretty much a low probability, but nonetheless, it's something that we need to take serious with this. Wind probabilities, we are in the 15% risk for all of us here in southern Indiana. That is a low-end slight risk. The higher-end slight risk doesn't start until you go down into Kentucky. And as far as the hail probabilities, it's the same way as well, although there's a chance of more hail a little bit up into here, into the Illinois area, and certainly as you go further to the south. So, all this to say, it doesn't really matter whether we are a low-end slight risk, a high-end slight risk, or in the moderate risk. We run the chance of severe weather either way. Do you think the worst of the worst stays to the south? Probably most of the tornadoes and the tornado outbreak, if one does happen again today, stays down toward the south, towards maybe the as we go back towards that tornado probability chart. You can see it probably stays from southern Kentucky on down into Mississippi and Alabama. It looks like our risk for that would be a little bit lower, but regardless of whether it's lower or not, we still stand shot of some. Wind becomes our primary threat, but I want to remind you folks that to take all the warnings seriously. A destructive wind gust of 60, 70, even 80 miles an hour, if we get warnings for that, folks, those can do just as much damage as a small tornado can. Those can knock over trees easily. Those can blow over semis. Those can knock things down onto your house, take some shingles off. Potentially straight line winds can blow small metal sheds down as well. So, you know, take these warnings seriously. This is not a day to be playing around with. Heed all the warnings when they come, and we'll get through this. All right. Temperature-wise today, that's the last thing we do want to go ahead and talk about. It is going to be plenty warm today. Let's take a look at your southernindianaweather.com forecast, sponsored by Ubelor & Sons. I think we're going to get up to about 76 degrees today, folks. All right. If we get a little bit more sunshine, than what I'm expecting. I could see that reasonably being higher. Some of us, if we get more sunshine than expected, could push 80 again. If we get more clouds, then we're probably going to be into the mid 70s or a little bit lower. Just going to depend exactly on how much sunshine we end up getting today. But scattered showers and thunderstorms, they're likely today. Obviously, they're happening right now in the morning. They're likely again this afternoon. Some very heavy rainfall. I would not be surprised at all to see some people get a couple of inches of rain out of this again today. And again, severe weather is likely tonight. We had one thunderstorm warning issued yesterday. As I said yesterday, Sunday was more of an isolated chance. Today's the more of the widespread chance. I will be surprised if we don't get a few warnings out of this tonight. So take them all seriously. Gusty winds today, very breezy, as well as you can see. And then as we just take a look through the rest of the forecast, what you can see here is Tuesday, more showers and thunderstorms likely. Strong storms can't be ruled out on Tuesday either, as we just take a look at our day 2 outlook just to show you this really quickly. The slight risk for severe weather is really mostly off to our east, and you can see it is low end slight risk for that when we look at the probabilities of it anyway. And but we'll have to see how that goes. And this is really confusing to me. I just not noticed this. I don't know where the SPC made a mistake for this, but you notice on the probabilities how they have a 45% hatch. That's actually a moderate risk. So apparently there is a moderate risk that's being shown up here on the day 2 outlook that is not shown here. I don't know why that's not shown, but somebody goofed on that because the 45% is what starts the moderate risk. Oh well, that's neither here or there. It stays pretty much out of our area. Again, we are in the 5% marginal for tomorrow. So again, I've worded it like this: a strong storm cannot be ruled out. But again, tomorrow we may not see a single warning, and hopefully we get a little bit of a reprieve. Low 70s again tomorrow, but then as you go throughout the week, notice the cool down continues. This upper level low just stays in our area and just sort of spins around, and we go into even the upper 50s at times for our high temperatures. And you notice rain stays in the forecast really just for pretty much every day almost. So all right, that is it for today's video, folks. I'll have another one of these updates this afternoon if needed and time allows, but certainly I'll be here tracking for you today. And if anything does come through, you will know. Stay tuned to our Southern Indiana weather page on Facebook and on Twitter for the latest information. With your SouthernIndianaWeather.com daily video, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great day, folks, and stay safe.